Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland. I'm in Edinburgh and the Edinburgh Festival is on. So I'm in the Pleasance, and the Pleasance is a courtyard dating from goodness knows which century. It's decidedly old, as you can deduce for yourself. And it's got several performance venues here. So this is the nerve centre of the Edinburgh Festival. There are venues all around the city. There are hundreds of performance spaces. Some of them are rooms above a pub with 20 seats. Some of them are proper theatres with over 1,000 seats. So it's been going since 1947. This is the biggest comedy and drama festival in the world. We're starting my commentary out there because it wasn't too noisy, but it's going to get noisy as it gets more crowded. So they're going from, about 9 in the morning, very few shows, picks up more during the afternoon, more and more and more. The really big shows are on about 7 o'clock, the most popular ones. So that's that. It's about 3.5 weeks in August, and there are performers from all over the world. I mean, anybody who's anybody in British comedy or drama has been here to perform and indeed to watch. But there are acts from the United States, Germany, Japan, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Nigeria, India. I could go on all day, but that's it. Almost all of them are in English, so they're very, very widely in quality. Just because it's on at the Fringe doesn't mean it's any good. There is no quality control. Now, on the one hand, that means it can be very expensive, experimental, and there's some fantastic stuff. On the other hand, it means it could be dreadful. So there's everything from absolutely outstanding to woeful, but mostly it's somewhere in between. And largely you get what you pay for. You could be paying 50 quid for an excellent seat in a proper theatre, or there are many free shows. There are lots of shows where the performers come around and they bring a bucket round at the end. Punters then put their hand in their pocket, take out £1 or £2 and give the punter what's left, which is about 10p. Yeah, but that's that. So there are lots of free shows. There are more shows you could possibly see, even if you were here for the whole 3.5 weeks. Even if you did nothing but watch shows every waking minute, you couldn't see them all. So there's some improv on, as well as proper performances. There are tragedies, comedies, histories, things like that. But here in the Pleasance, this area, it's almost all comedy. So you'll get what I mean when I say it's fairly busy, and there are lots of venues. People coming in and out, all sorts of shows going on. So look for the yellow box office. There are at least 3 of them at the Pleasance. That's one of them. Look for people in yellow t-shirts. They're selling tickets. They usually have a strict late entry policy, as in you can't come in once the show has gone on. If you go out for any reason, you're not allowed back in. So there's obviously these outdoor bars as well. So it is fantastic. I first came 20 years ago and it's just boomed. If anything, it's a victim of its own success. My beef with the Edinburgh Festival is it's just too popular, because around here and on the Royal Mile there's not room to breathe. It's just so jam-packed for people going to see shows. There are a lot of street performances, jugglers, escapologists, storytellers, musicians, dance acts. Anyway, it's everything you can possibly imagine. So maybe you get the idea that this is a hive of activity. The nexus of drama and comedy in the United Kingdom. The London comedy scene largely shuts down this time. There is, however, a Camden Comedy Festival on at this time, but it's nothing to rival Edinburgh, which is very well established. So set up after the Second World War by an Austrian refugee. And he even considered putting it in Oxford, but thought that's too close to London. Got to be a city with a strong theatrical tradition, big enough, not too big, reasonably far from London, so it's not just in the orbit of London. And so this is Edinburgh. Anyway, what else could I point out? So yeah, read the reviews and I'll tell you what's going on, what's good, what's not. And every year there's some performers who come here as nobodies, and by the end of the festival they're on television. When I first came here in '98, Ed Byrne broke. He arrived here a complete unknown. By the end of the month he was live on television. Actually, he's not to my taste, but he certainly made a career for himself. So that's him. This is where you've got to be if you want to break into comedy in the British Isles. Yeah, one of my comedian friends, so the thing is, you've got to ask yourself what success means for you if you want to do this. Is it to make money? Is it to get famous? Is it just to have fun? Or what? It could be a combination of 2 or 3 of those things. But now, you are not going to make money, certainly your first year. You're going to lose money between, obviously, transport, accommodation, food, hiring venue space. You're going to make a substantial loss. There's no 2 ways about that. You could view it as a long-term investment. The unwisdom of this investment, I must emphasise. But anyway, some people make it work for them, some people make a career out of it. So are you willing to be here for the whole 3.5 weeks? Hire a big performance space? Are you willing to print tens of thousands of high quality flyers? To hire loads of advertising space? and are you prepared to hire a whole team of people to be handing out these things, and you yourself standing on the street handing out flyers, engaging people all day to get them into your show? So if you're starting from nowhere, obviously you don't want to go head-to-head compete with the big acts, not for the sort of 7 o'clock shows, that's peak time. Even people in Edinburgh who are working here, we're out of the office ready to go to those shows. Could be a bit before, people are there at 5 or 6 on their way to see something, they're more up for it. The things starting later, like 8 or 9, again, people have usually seen a show, you're losing your audience, they're off to the pub. 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, you'd be lucky to get a ghost to your audience. So that's the Edinburgh Festival in a nutshell. It's fantastic, it's vibrant, it's enormously varied, it's always changing. So yeah, it's definitely worth a visit. Even if you're not a thespian, even if you're not hugely into comedy, there is something to suit all tastes.